Zaz, is that Jeremy's brother in the back corner of the shipping container? Who is that back there?
I don't know that fool.
I believe that we brought someone in because Mike Ryan needs to talk about a most historic finals match being played in soccer.
I'm not enough for him?
And well, Tony's not enough, Roy's not enough, Chris isn't enough, I'm not enough, Jeremy's not enough, and Zaz isn't enough.
What are we talking about again?
You called it the finals. It's just a final. There's no S.
Yeah, like hockey.
It's a singular game.
How many are there? How many are there that are just called a? Okay, I guess that's what it is. It's
Singular
it's
final.
When it's one game, it's a final, and when it's more than one game, it's plural.
No, not in hockey.
Not
It's
NHL,
weird.
no.
I understand it's confusing. Battle court though, that's a final.
Oh,
We'll get to that in a second.
Goosebumps.
No one's answered my question on who the hell that is.
That's
in
Tom Bogert.
in the right-hand corner of the
Welcome,
shipping
Tom.
container.
From the Athletic and the Galazzo Network. He is
hell of a mustache.
He's got a hell of a mustache. Yeah. That is his number one accolade. But his number two is he's the premier soccer insider in the United States.
One of them.
Behind me. It's me, Tom.
Well, it's good then. We're going to have some people to talk soccer with on
got
an,
some questions.
on an important
You do?
soccer day. They're going to be drawing ping pong balls today for 90 minutes of wild entertainment. Tony, what are you making
He's
faces?
just pulling ping pong balls. I can see that on Twitter. Just let me know who's on. Oh, Netherlands are here. Okay, cool.
It is
Whatever.
pretty absurd that we were talking about it before. I think this might be the third largest global audience for any sporting event, and it's the World Cup draw. No games being played, just a lot of pomp and a whole lot of circumstance.
Well, that's stupid.
It is not stupid. What is your favorite pomp and what is your favorite circumstance?
Oh, today there's plenty of pomp. A lot of legends. Eli Manning is hosting a red carpet, Dan.
Because of course.
You got draw assistants. You got the goats of the game. You got Shaq. You got Wayne Gretzky. You got Tom Brady. And to represent baseball, Aaron Judge.
so Jordan wasn't available.
Okay, but he's too busy doing those interviews from months ago with Mike Tirico. Are they still airing the same one, by the way? Have they done a fresh one yet, or are they still airing the Michael Jordan one from a couple of months ago?
Do you think Shaq knows he wasn't the first choice?
No. I think that Shaq probably assumes in all instances that he's always the first choice.
Aaron Judge is the only active athlete out of that four, and they represent the big four sports in this. It should have been Jeter, right? It should have been Jeter.
Maybe he said no. Judge, you also weren't the first choice.
Wow.
That's a close one.
Was
Judge is
A-Rod
also
busy?
better.
I mean, it's on Fox, right?
What else are the highlights that involve the pomp and involve the circumstance? Finally, Donald Trump is going to get a Peace Award, correct?
Yeah. We're just not going to let Tom talk on any of this.
Tom, you want to talk about Trump's Peace Award?
Not particularly.
Football is back, Jack. Oh my, we've waited for so long. We're so damn excited that we put it in a song. Don't need no check downs. Give me big hits and quarterbacks. Keep your fantasy team from falling off the track. Football is back, Jack. Whether on the ground or through the air. When the chips are down and you throw a prayer. When your team is primed and on the hunt. It's 4th and 10, you refuse to punt. When the shoulder pads and helmets crack, that's how you know that football is back, Jack. Let me hear you say football is back, Jack. This high is wild and out of control. And we're gonna ride it every week till we reach the Super Bowl. Don't need no check downs. Give me big hits and quarterbacks. If you say this game's the best, I'll say it's a gag. Football is back, Jack. Football is back, Jack. Football is back. Football is back, Jack.
Lot of fun sports stuff going on this weekend, beginning today, really. I was going to say at noon, but a little after that with Battle Court and the Cyclones. Hold on, we'll get to that in a second. We've got a lot going on this weekend. We've got 4 football games that people are going to be interested. Colts, Jags, Bears, Packers, Texans, Chiefs, Steelers, Ravens. We have Inter Miami playing for the championship. We've got the World Cup draw. We've got Jeremy Taché. What are you doing on the Heat broadcast? Is this some sort of promotion, Jeremy? Is someone out sick? What's happening here?
I mean, yeah, Jeremy, what are you doing on the broadcast?
I'm a courtside reporter.
Is somebody out sick? They called you?
I do that
I'm sorry.
for about a third of the games.
I'm sorry. I wasn't familiar with your game. My bad. The Cyclones are playing a matinee today.
Yeah.
Closed to the public, although I saw Tony invited earlier today, and Tony declined the invitation.
I didn't decline, Dan. I got my Battle Court shirt on right now.
You
I'm
did
very
decline.
excited, very ready.
Yeah, you did decline.
You
We
did
asked you,
decline.
hey,
What
you
time
want
is
to
it
come?
at?
And you're like, I got to think.
What time's it at?
2:30 p.m. Eastern.
We got the Texans, Bengals, Saturday 4:30 window.
Which is an insult because we're playing the Warriors. We're the top seed. And as you know, Dan, this is Battle Court's oldest rivalry.
I don't understand how the playoffs work in your sport. Chris, can you help me understand how the playoffs work?
You know what? The players are here to explain it to you. Take it away, fellas.
How the 425 playoff works.
The top 4 teams will meet a face-off to secure a spot in the championship. The top-seeded team will face the 4th-seeded team.
The second-seeded team will face off with the third-seeded team.
All matches are doubles for the playoffs.
In case of a tie, the high-seeded teams get to pick a double fish to go to a tiebreak.
Where it's a single set where the first to 6 advances to the championship.
Who are you hoping to see win the playoff? Let's go! The Cyclones. Yeah!
The Devils.
The Fireballs.
The Warriors. Vamos!
Oh, goosebumps.
The Fireballs had more energy than the Cyclones. I think we saw that together.
We're conserving our energy. We have the 2:30 match.
How are you guys feeling about things? And we'll get to Tom Bogert in a second, Jeremy's brother, because he has some legitimate soccer expertise to give us on what is a giant soccer day. But you guys have been good owners of the Cyclones, and you haven't been this relevant in a while. You haven't been this competitive in a little bit.
So we've actually been bad owners. We won the first title, and
Boners.
Once they added teams to the league, this is our first appearance in the playoffs since they expanded to 6 teams. Now,
We're loyal.
we have had Manu as our stalwart. He is the best backcourter in the world, and we've had a lot of bad luck over the last few seasons, right? But now we are the top seed. We are favored.
The playoffs are doubles, and he's great at doubles, and you guys are great at doubles.
Yeah. So, Lord willing, we'll punch our ticket to the Battle Court final.
I don't think the Lord cares.
That's where you use Lord willing?
Hopefully, yeah.
Okay.
I've said 2 prayers in the last 6 months. They're for the Catholics to be sent to hell and for the Cyclones to win Battle.
Match 3 has me nervous. There, I'll say it.
I forgot to tell you when we talk about heaven and hell and God that the Nicolas Cage movie in which he plays Jesus' dad, it's a horror movie. I forgot to tell you guys.
His name is
this.
Joseph, Dan.
Did it again.
My bad. I'm thinking about the pots earlier.
Cut it up.
Okay. Tom, I'm happy to have you here and your expertise because for those of you who do not know, he is America's preeminent soccer authority and in print. I don't think I could do that.
I don't even call my dad.
Wow, that's
like, what are we doing?
Let's talk about that.
You confuse me with
All right,
dad. The dad thing,
All right,
Joseph.
so
is
what's
dad.
happening? Well, because not only did we rattle you, for some reason, the way that you decided to fix it was to say, I'm still rattled from pod talk in the meeting, which is basically something that only us know about. Like it's the
Group or pod?
You know what? I've got to send
It's
him
Gino
a-
Fuentes' fault.
I'm gonna
I
send-
agree with
I'm
that.
gonna send
We can
him
all
away.
agree.
Gino threw me.
Minor penalty, 2 minutes, murdering the show with their bare hands in a dismemberment kit in cold blood.
Out.
If I can say, Gino was the one that threw the groups in the
Get
pods.
out!
And then
Listen to your dad. Tom, When I tell you that Inter Miami is playing Vancouver for the championship, we were talking about this earlier in the week. The idea, I didn't think any of this could happen quietly, that Messi could be here, that he could play this way, and that Inter Miami could be playing for a championship that I don't think Miami's exactly going to celebrate with a parade if they do win it this weekend. But can you put into context, before we talk about the World Cup draw today, what it means that Messi has come here and done this, and how mismanaged has the selling of it been, that it's happening somewhat quietly, that this is not a national or international story when he has grown the sport. He's done everything that's been asked of him, but yet it's happening pretty quietly.
Yeah, in the soccer world, I wouldn't call it too quietly, but definitely in the mainstream kind of American sports. Part of that is that it's behind a paywall, and part of that is they haven't really promoted it that well. But on the field, it's been awesome. He scored or assisted each one of the team's first 12 playoff goals. Each one. He had, I believe, 22 goals or assists in like a 7-game span. It is unbelievable. And I wish that we were talking about it more and talking more about the on-field stuff than, hey, why is nobody caring?
I know that in sports in general, whether it's Tom Brady or LeBron James or Serena Williams or Diana Taurasi, that athletes now can play into their 40s. But can you give me some historical context for Messi still being this good at this age? Because I really thought that they'd be getting a faded star, not somebody who would be, either scoring or assisting their first 12 playoff goals.
Yeah, he's just an alien. There isn't real precedence for what he's doing. Obviously, MLS is a lesser league than La Liga or Spain or England or France or whatever, but he's still doing this with the Argentine national team. He is still viewed as one of the very best players in the world. At his age, obviously pace and agility and like the physical attributes matter, but it's his brain, it's his technique. While his left foot is the best of all time, I think his best ability is his intelligence of movement and his way to camouflage himself within the action, because there is nobody that you should be paying attention to more if you're a defender. And he constantly finds ways to just hide and then sprint, and it's a tap in. And people are like, oh, why aren't you marking Messi? He's just so smart, and I think that's his best quality.
How and why is it that he is non-committal still about the World Cup? What is the logic in that? If he's playing this well, clearly he's going to play in the World Cup, right?
It's jarring to me. It's weird that he keeps saying, I don't know if I'm going to play at the World Cup, when at first it was, I just want to wear the crest one more time with the gold logo after winning the World Cup. And then he continues to play. He continues to be really, really great. And he still says things like, I don't know if, obviously he's playing at the World Cup.
Is he doing what the committee's doing with Notre Dame Miami, just keeping us interested? If he said yes a year ago, then we're not asking.
Or there'll be some big announcement. Obviously, it will be a big announcement when he makes it, even if it's anticlimactic.
Or maybe does he like the idea that my last World Cup game, we finally won the World Cup?
Then he wouldn't be continuing to play in friendlies. They just got back from Africa. They played Angola for no reason other than money, and he's playing in that game.
We'll get to the World Cup draw in a second, but I think that Zaslow at ESPN is now challenging Stephen A. Smith for hardest working man in show business. I heard his recycled Chris Paul takes on the radio last night with Amber. He was doing the same Chris Paul takes he did in the morning.
Whole different audience, Dan.
You want him to have a new take?
The exact opposite take?
No, I just wanted him to have different points. It doesn't have to be a different take.
Amber hadn't heard me say it yet. We're doing a show.
Amber listens and watches our show.
That's
she
true.
had heard you say
That's
it. But also, was Mario Cristobal on with you last night?
Hell yeah.
So that's a third show. That's a third show you're doing.
More like 13th.
Okay.
He's been on Cody. He's been on Kane's Insight. He's been on Zaz. Hell yeah, Coach.
Yes, he has made the rounds. It seems clear that he does not like me or Jeremy Taché.
It's because he's afraid of me, right? He's afraid of my logical arguments.
You call them logical.
And strength.
I think he might be not wanting to be around general hijinks on our show, but it could just be that he dislikes you. What did Mario Cristobal have to say on Zaslow's show 2.0?
Yeah, well, I mean, I asked him here. I wanted to know if the way he feels right now, if it's similar at all to last year, because last year at this time, 10-win team on the bubble of the college football playoff, and here he was.
This is the second year in a row. You're a 10-win team. You're on the bubble. Last year, you guys got left out. The way you feel now, is it similar to the way you felt last year, or is this year different?
Oh, it's completely different. I guess the best way to explain that, I felt last year, we lost that last game to Syracuse, and we were probably battling, I think it was a 9-3 team. So we had a really good offense. We did not have a very good defense. And we did not play our best football at the end. In fact, we were playing poor defense. I felt like it was debatable. Like there was definitely some arguments in our favor and some that I couldn't make. I couldn't say we have a complete team and we're playing I couldn't say that. To me, that was, all right, their best points, which are really good versus ours, because we have some holes in ours. It's a debate. This year, it's not. This is about facts being presented. And I just think that we have the best case scenario. You have a head-to-head, same record, and common opponents, and statistical data showing that we are playing our absolute best football right now at the end of the season.
Whose computer was that?
Yo, that was his.
That's embarrassing, Zaz.
Zaz,
you were on ESPN with that?
You could at least cut that out of the clip.
That was his computer. What can I do about that?
Why didn't you cut it out of the clip? The clip was 1 minute 15 seconds long. It could have been 1 minute 14 and a half seconds. Like, why would you not just cut that out of the clip when you put it in?
Our absolute best football right now at the end of the season.
Could have stopped it at absolute best.
That is a Flanagan's
Absolute
cut.
best football right now.
In the background. What are our thoughts on Marcus Freeman? Are we seeing him look a little mopier these days? Does he physically look a little...
Zaz, you didn't get Freeman?
Still hot as hell, but mopier because he realized what's coming this way.
If you read his body language, and the players too, you could say that Notre Dame is taking their cues from their head coach and they're handling this with class, which they are, but here's why they're handling it with class. It's because they're football guys. And I can guarantee you, Mario Cristobal may be out there doing like some media stuff. Zaz, I went over the air. That's a fine. Mario Cristobal would be doing some media stuff, but it would all be about Oklahoma and Alabama.
I'm embarrassed.
All right.
He's got to go.
It helps. It didn't
He's got to go, Dad.
He's
got to go. Take him out of here, Dad.
It's a mistake.
We got to wrap. 2 minutes. Stoya Show.
Embarrassed.
Incredibly distracting. Here we go.
Why do you say that to me?
What I'm trying to say is Mario Cristobal may be out there like arguing common opponent with Alabama. We beat FSU. Might be arguing, look at all the metrics. We're much better than Oklahoma. As bad as our defense was last year, that's as bad as their offense was. But if he lost to Notre Dame, was sitting at the same record, I guarantee you with every fiber of my being, Mario Cristobal would not be out there publicly saying that Miami deserves to be in there ahead of Notre Dame. And I can guarantee you the same for myself. I would not be doing that. I would turn my attention to that lackluster pot of SEC teams that I think is wildly overrated. But Notre Dame has, you would think that they've benefited from this CFP discourse. It's actually done them wrong because they're going to wake up Sunday morning toe-to-toe with Miami, something that they do not want. They're the chicken shit heel, Hollywood Hogan in the ring, throwing NWO members at Goldberg. They do not want to be side by side next to Miami because they know in competitive sports, the ultimate tiebreaker is head-to-head, and the CFP has done them a disservice because the real debate is Notre Dame, Alabama. The real debate is Notre Dame, Oklahoma, and they haven't had the opportunity to even have that debate, nor are they prepared to have that debate because the entire discourse has been about Miami, Notre Dame.
I am being told two things by the producers of this show. One is that thing with Zaslow did not go out over the air. It was just for you and Chris Cody.
It was like
So you need to leave now.
Minor penalty. 2 minutes.
It was an all
Stoya
call.
Show.
Yeah.
So it was not something that everyone heard. The audience.
We all heard it. It was distracting to all of us, but the audience missed it.
He was trying to speak to Jeremy and he did an all call. Okay, that's on the line. Well, we'll need Judge Zaz to rule on it.
All right, that means you get out, though. The other thing that the producers are pointing out to me, that's right, the delay.
I just talked.
You made a great
I
point.
talked for 30 seconds, making great points. Nobody listened to me. Nobody. Everybody was talking for the entire 30 seconds that I was talking.
Because you didn't include BYU.
Hey, you shut up. I have to listen to him.
Out.
You know what?
Jack shit.
Out. delay of show. Please respect the call. The other reason that I wasn't listening to you while you were talking is because the producers were also telling me the entire time, hey, the new guy looks like Nacho Libre. Like they're all pointing out that he looks like Nacho Libre. And so that's why I couldn't hear what it is you were saying. So Nacho, please tell me what it is that it means both worldwide and in America, the draw that we're about to watch today as the World Cup comes to the United States, and I'm going to really enjoy ramping up World Cup coverage as we get closer and closer to the world's biggest sporting event.
Yeah, today's a big day. You find out the groups. We'll learn who the United States are paired against. They are in Pot A, which means they will not draw.
Told you.
They will not draw Argentina, France, the best teams in the world. You get one team per pot, and we'll find out the other three opponents for the United States and obviously everybody else, except kind of there are still playoffs going on. So the pot four, what is air quote the worst? You could get Italy if they do qualify through UEFA's playoffs. So it's going to be a big day. We'll know where the games are. We'll know what times, all that stuff, except for, again, the playoffs.
Do you enjoy today?
No,
you don't.
Not a little bit. Not even a little bit. This is the pomp and circumstance with FIFA. I hate it. They invented a Peace Prize award to give to Donald Trump, and I think today is going to take, 9 hours.
So you hate that, but the world loves it, right? When you talk about, Mike was saying it's the third.
Yes, they do.
When he was saying it was the third most, it's going to be the third most viewed sporting event thing that there is. Cowboys
outside of the football game.
Cowboys Chiefs Thanksgiving did 52 million. It's not going to do that, right?
Oh, it's going to do well more than that. Well,
maybe
more. Globally, well more than 52 million.
So you're saying third largest viewing, putting it behind what in terms of what the numbers are when you put it at third?
I think you might touch a Billy on this global audience that's
Get out
watching.
of here.
You get out of here. I just served a penalty for some bullshit. You get out of here.
How about you push through when someone's distracting
I did.
you?
I
Maybe
pushed
you
it.
could be a little bit professional.
Don't talk to me how to be a pro.
I'm just saying.
I was being a pro.
Just push through, man.
I was being a pro.
Keep the show moving.
Zaslow was a pro yesterday on our show. He was a pro on ESPN Radio. He was a pro on his show. Zaslow is working very hard these days, giving his opinion everywhere. What else did Mario Cristobal have to say to you? Because I wish you'd been in here when Mike was making the point that Mario Cristobal, he guaranteed it with every fiber of his being. Not some of the fibers, not a percentage of the fibers, all of the fibers in his entire being. He guaranteed that Mario Cristobal would not be out here making the rounds like this if he had lost to Notre Dame.
I thought that was, I think Mike's right because Cristobal said the exact same thing to me. And I thought that was super interesting, and I thought it was classy. And because I said to him, I don't remember you campaigning like this last year. And then he specifically told me that's because I was raised the right way.
He knows he has a good hand. And I think people are going to be shocked tomorrow when they tune in on Saturday morning and they realize this discourse that has been kicked down the road is going to totally flip on Notre Dame. You're going to have Nick Saban. You're going to have Greg McElroy. You're going to have Kirk Herbstreit. You're going to have pretty much everybody unified in acknowledging the most obvious thing in sport. It's not a hot take. If you lost a game to a team with the same record, the team you lost to is ahead of you. And they are all going to come out in uniform, in consensus. And they are all going to be arguing for Miami ahead of Notre Dame.
You meant unison, right? Because now you've got them in uniform. It works as well, but I have them in
it works as well.
In Catholic school.
You know,
gear.
my relationship with today's show, not great. Everybody's being a real asshole except for Tom.
Well, wait a minute.
And Roy.
Thank you. I was listening to when you were talking about Miami.
You're fine.
Thank you.
Tom,
So just me then.
Tom,
Yeah.
Can you
And Dad.
Can you explain, Tom, what you expect to happen in
who's gonna be in our group?
Inter Miami? No. I want to.
Yeah, predict the ping pong.
No.
Who are we trying to avoid in B?
I want to talk about Inter. We've got
Who do we want in B?
a final on Saturday for a championship in Miami. And while I might not have the interest of the room, the entirety of the room, every fiber of the being of the room, I do know that there are a lot of South Floridians. They might not be Americans. They might not be here, born in this country, but
No one's going to actually watch this final in terms of like common sports fan, right? Maybe some casuals go find this game on Network Fox. But if Inter Miami win this game, there is going to be a parade. There will be. And maybe some of you might be, Pshaw, parade? Why? Where is this parade going to be? By Chase Stadium? by the old Boomers location, it would be the biggest parade in the history of South Florida sports.
I am curious as to what is going to happen on Monday if Inter Miami wins on Saturday. But what I was asking Tom, not just for prediction, because I don't know who he favors or why, but is it good for the sport if Messi and Inter Miami win? Is it better for the sport if Messi and Inter Miami win?
It's good that they're in this game and that I'm on the show talking about this game. For Miami and Messi to get to the final, whether they win or lose, I think this is still a huge moment for MLS. This is going to be the last day of Messi 1.0 in Miami. Jordi Alba, Sergio Busquets are retiring, maybe probably Luis Suarez, and then 2.0 starts after this. So it's either are they defending a title or are they still trying to get back over that hump? So either way, I think it works for the sport.
It's bigger than if Vancouver wins, Dan. For America.
For the sport is what I was asking. I wasn't
Still,
asking
Vancouver.
about I wasn't asking about America.
Let's ask Don Garber. Hey, what's bigger for you? Messi winning a championship
or Vancouver
or the Whitecaps?
What are the betting odds? Do we know who's favored?
Miami heavily.
So Miami, it would be a pretty large disappointment and large upset if Vancouver ends up beating Inter Miami.
Do you think the parade, if they do win, would come close to what Greg Cody did in his famous parade with us?
I think you're going to get people coming from everywhere in South Florida just to catch a glimpse of Messi.
Do you think it'll start or end at the Wendy's on commercial?
There is one thing, though. Despite Miami being a favorite against Vancouver, Thomas Mueller is playing for Vancouver, and that is the boogeyman.
I don't know that fool.
Well, Messi knows that fool, because Messi does not have much luck against Mueller head-to-head.
You'll forgive my ignorance here, but how rare is it for a team like the bugaboo last year was the first round and they lose to Atlanta. This year they get through the first round. How rare is it to win the two games before the final 4-1? You know, by the number of goals that they've won, they've outscored their opponents as the things have gotten tighter.
Definitely very rare. They have dominated everybody in this playoff run. Last season when they lost, that is historically the biggest upset in MLS playoff history, and this is a league that is built on chaos, that it's built on upsets and things like that. So it was a huge disappointment last year, and this year they've gotten much better. Obviously the goals is what everybody's going to talk about because it's Messi, but they've gotten much better defensively. They played Vancouver in May in the Champions League, essentially in CONCACAF. Vancouver in leg one at home killed them. And then they came down to Miami. Everybody expected Miami to come back and win, and Vancouver dominated them off the pitch in this stadium. So they're much better than they were in May, particularly defensively, but that's why Vancouver have a real shot.
Roy, I'm worried about, in general, your mental health as it regards the Panthers. They've now lost 5 in a row at home. Last night, Bobrovsky was good. He was excellent, and they still lost at home, 5 in a row at home. However, if I had told you right before the season started, they're going to have the injuries they have, and they're going to be 12-12. They're going to be 12-12. They're going to be at 500. You would have taken that, wouldn't you have?
Yeah, I actually would. I would have.
You look where we are in the standings.
They're last place.
Considering who's injured, yes, I would have taken that. They will get better this season.
But they're last place.
I understand they're in last place.
But I just asked. I didn't ask him about last place. That speaks to the difficulty of the conference. I just said if I told you after 25 games, they'd be 500, and Kachuk would be out, and you've got Barkov out. Would you have taken a 500 record? Why are you guys in disagreement on that? You're just bothered by last place?
Because they're in last, and they're the lowest scoring team in the conference, yeah.
But you know the reason for it.
Of course, and they're going to get Kachuk back soon, but there are still a ton of other injuries on this team. Like, yes, Matthew Kachuk is going to help, but just Matthew Kachuk it's so hard to gain ground in this league because the 3-point games, they're in last place. Like, I'm super concerned about them missing the playoffs.
For reference, Matthew Kachuk spoke to reporters after his very first skate around with the team, and he's like, I feel so much better today than I did during the Cup final.
And that's exciting. It is. But again, so hard to gain ground in this league, and they're in last.
I mean, you win 4 in a row, all of a sudden you climb halfway up the East.
But they're not in last, by the way. Buffalo's in last.
Buffalo.
I'm wondering, though, as we talk about this, what is the more disappointing way to not be able to defend 2 consecutive titles? Is it getting eliminated in the playoffs when you're healthy, or just being unhealthy and having a reason that's not the team has gotten worse, you've got an explanation?
This is low-key so much better than being defeated. I was so envious of how the Warriors dynasty, well, even though they won afterwards, but the KD incarnation of the Warriors went out because they could, even though the Raptors, I still firmly believe, would have won that series, they get to hang their hat on Clay and KD getting hurt, and you always have that in your back pocket if you're a Warriors fan.
I agree.
And no one actually took out the Florida Panthers. Yeah. Injury took them out. And we rebuild next year. But you could always say, when you tell the story of the Florida Panthers,
being so banged up from all the winning.
That's right. They went to 3 straight Stanley Cup finals. I think in that instance, you do put the S on.
I like a good excuse, Dan.
So when we talk about Bobrovsky being bad this year, how much of that do we chalk up to the fact that he has had to be under the pressure of 69 playoff games?
I mean, their defense sucks.
3 years. But okay, but you said their defense sucks before I asked the question, which you still haven't answered.
I couldn't wait.
But you didn't answer the question, which is, he's been bad this year, but how much does that have to do with you've played 69 playoff games the last 3 years under an intensity that seems to be super pressurized, and you're the one guy who's never getting hurt?
You got to imagine all those extra minutes that you're playing add up. I mean, Barkov, it seemed to be a fluke injury. He got hurt like the second he touched the ice in preseason camp. And we know that historically you get banged up. Actually, this most recent Cup final was Florida's best luck when it came to injuries. But when you look at what troubles them specifically right now, it's goal scoring. We know that they have talented goal scorers out, and the forecheck is really lacking. And it's not just Barkov. That one's obvious. But Luostarinen, like that freak barbecue accident, he is one of the
Do we know what even happened
What are the
there?
details there? You've mentioned this.
Barbecue accident?
Well,
He burned his face off?
He's mentioned this a couple of times now, and at this point now I need to ask follow-up questions.
All right, fine. I had a team barbecue.
What was the barbecue accident? What do you imagine barbecue accidents look like? Because I've got an exploding grill. It's got to be around the grill, correct? It's not apart from the grill. If you're saying it's a barbecue accident, it has to be around where the fire and the barbecue are.
No, Peter Burns had a barbecue accident, remember? Yeah.
His name is Burns, and he had a barbecue accident, and I assume it has to be the grill.
Lower body injury with the propane tank. This is why I don't.
Did it explode?
That has to be it.
I've got it being a barbecue at Ekblad's house. Ekblad's on the grill, flipping a burger. Luostarinen's like 10 feet away. He's got a plate with a bun on it. He's like, "Here you go, coming in hot." And he flips it over, and it hits him right in the eye.
No, he just ate too much and went to Tummy Ache City for a while.
A lower leg injury involving a propane tank suggests to me that he didn't run into the propane tank.
He stepped on a landmine? What happened?
He's actually kind of lucky because it was kind of like a freaky week when it came to hockey and off-ice injuries. Luke Hughes cut his finger off.
Jack Hughes.
I'm sorry.
With Frank the Tank.
He was just chopping it up in the kitchen, and he cut his finger off.
It's true, Dan. With Frank the Tank.
You know Frank the Tank?
Was there an explosion with the propane tank? Do we know if they are hockey players now playing through landmine explosions of the lower body?
You got to be happy that Jack Hughes did that thing now. The exploding propane tank under the radar, but we miss him. Come back, E2.
The cutting off of the finger. Clearly, there's no game time missed there, right? The hockey player just continues to play through a cut off finger.
Nope. He is out. He's out for a couple of months.
They were able to reattach it. I don't know how well. How did it happen?
How did they do that? They reattach it. They say to put it in milk. You put the finger in milk. Yeah, I think so. I think you put the finger in milk and then you take it to the hospital and you're like, "Hey, I got a thing," and they're like, "Hey."
I always heard it was ice.
Is your finger in milk? Good.
Look it up.
Put it on the poll. Better than looking it up. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. If you cut off your fingers, should you put it in milk? I don't know if you guys saw Nobody 2. I enjoyed it because I love the idea that action stars are now getting older and older and older, and you can't do better than Bob Odenkirk as funny, old, and it's a great action movie somehow, even though it stars Bob Odenkirk. But there is a scene. And spoiler alert, there's a scene in that movie where someone just slices off his finger, he chases it as it rolls off of a boat, and then a fish eats it. I don't know. I do not know if he intended to put that in milk or not, but Tony is telling you that the way to, Tony, I don't know why you have such knowledge about dismemberment things.
Quick, right?
Yeah, but you've got suspicious knowledges in suspicious areas where you just simply know how to hide things.
The human heart,
and
500 grand.
Criminal
The
moment.
internet is saying for a severed finger, you should wrap it in a moist cloth or gauze, place it in a sealed plastic bag, and then put it in ice. And rush to the ER. Milk is not recommended.
Not recommended. But again, who are we listening to? Who is that? Gemini? Give me a break.
Who is it? WebMD?
Come on.
Google AI.
Okay.
Exactly. Thank you. Point for humans.
We do not know if the milk helps the severed finger or
Put a little
not.
ice in it.
I imagine if you don't have ice and the milk's cold, fine. But
that kind of thing.
I'm going ice.
Okay. I'm glad you mentioned that, and I'm glad that you've offered your particular wisdoms to this conversation. Zaz, I got a text last night from Nick Wright as soon as LeBron James is, I don't think you're going to be happy with what it is that he had to say, but as soon as LeBron James's streak ended, LeBron James had scored double figures in every game he had played in since 2007. And last night he scored 8 points, but he assisted on the game winner. And Nick Wright just wrote to me, ask Zaz what he thinks about how LeBron ended his streak now.
Yeah. I mean, I think that he made the type of play that he's been making his entire career, but for everyone to say that he chose to win the game instead of get his streak. He didn't get his streak because he was 4 for 17, all right? Like, that's why he didn't get the streak, not because he chose to do the unselfish thing.
What I sent Nick Wright as response was something that you texted me as soon as the streak ended, which is LeBron's streak is over, Dan. He definitely wanted that shot to miss at the end and go into overtime. And then Nick Wright just wrote back, he's an all-time dope.
So on me?
About Zaz?
He called you a sucker.
Wait, Zaz is the dope?
Yo.
He's an all-time dope.
I'll apologize to Nick right here, all right? Because maybe he's off his rocker now since I owned him a couple days ago on the show. So you know what? I'm not even going to take offense that he may be reeling based on me dominating him in that debate.
So here is LeBron talking after the game about, and no one asked him the question, were you hoping that the game winner wouldn't go in so that you go into overtime? No one asked him that. By the way,
because we all know the answer.
It is a really funny, silly thing that we do with numbers, because LeBron's streak of scoring 8 points in a game since 2007 is still in play. Like that,
That's on.
That's still alive, but because the 10 points is no longer alive, LeBron is asked, and this is what he says after the game.
Now that the streak has ended for you, what feelings did you have, if any, about it ended?
None. We won.
Is there an honest bone in his body?
A fiber in his being? An honest fiber in his being?
Dan, he remained, the last game he played, he was in the game in the fourth quarter down by 26 to keep the streak going. Like, is there an honest bone in his body?
I'm going to hold your feet to the propane tank here. Do you think he's fallen off? Like, he is this like Jeter's last season?
All-star till 50?
Is it?
Yes.
Because, like, Nick Wright's calling you a dope when that guy said he'd be an all-star at the age of 50. And that's aging like the milk we're putting a disembodied finger in.
Yes, I think we're seeing the beginning of the end. Not that I think he's going to retire this year, because I think LeBron is going to announce a farewell tour, which I think will last multiple years. All right, 1 year of giving LeBron presents and flowers every time he goes to your building is not enough. I think it's going to be 2 years, but I do think that we're seeing the beginning of the end.
This has to be the worst take of the year by Nick Wright. Like, if we're looking back at this entire year of shows, saying LeBron would be an all-star at 50 and then what he's done so far.
Don't be too hard on him. He's shook based on what I did to him the other day.
But just wait a minute, all right? Because
worst take of the year.
When it comes, you say worst take of the year, but when it comes to nominating most obvious take of the day, really, It's the beginning of the end for LeBron. This is 23rd season.
He said till 50. We didn't make him say that.
At least he had the courage to answer the question, Dan.
He's the oldest player in the league. Like, what do you mean? Of course, it's the beginning of the end. It's been the beginning of the end. It should have been the beginning of the end 10 years ago.
But it never felt like it. But now it feels like it. Like we
started feeling like it as soon as Nick said that.
Yeah,
honestly.
we haven't seen him like, let me sit out for a month because my back hurts. Let me throw up a 4 for 17. This is one of the most efficient basketball players in the history of the game. I don't recognize that guy.
He's got sciatica, gout, leprosy.
Right, then don't say he'll be an all-star till 50. Like, you're proving our point of how dumb it was.
He literally gave a quote, like, when you wake up this age, something new hurts every day. You're not making it till 50.
No, I think they're just building this offense around Luka. I think what LeBron needs is a wide-open offense where everybody shares the ball and there's lots of body movement.
Can always tell when you're doing
everyone else involved.
Hey, I'm with him on this thing.
Yeah, it's true.
I would take him today.
Also, that streak should have ended in 2011. In the NBA Finals, but that doesn't count.
Chris, you're so right about Jeremy. He's like your dad.
You could tell first words.
If you think your family.
I'm doing a thing on purpose.
I know, but make it hide it. That's why I'm doing it.
Put a ham on the
I
screen.
know how to do it.
Mid-broadcast with sportscaster Dan Patrick of the Dan Patrick Show.
Let's bring in Dan Le Batard, host of the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz. And Dan, good to see you.
It's always nice seeing you, Dan. I've got a little bit of chaos around me here. We've got a very electric, sort of vibrating Miami, and we're coming off of a historic United America last night, feeling very good about itself because they would be able to laugh at one city. Last night was a winning night for America. Either today would be about laughing at Boston fans or laughing at Miami fans, and America wins today. And here's the best part about it. America was going to win today no matter what. One hated fan base was going to allow you to laugh like that today. So congratulations to America.
Yeah, but I don't know if America hates the Miami Heat anymore.
No?
No.
We kind of need it. We kind of need it down here.
They hate Miami, Dan.
Oh, but not the Heat.
I believe that all things Miami are something that divide America.
Do you guys hate the Miami Heat? Like, Jimmy Butler's a great story, and Caleb Martin and Gabe Vincent and Eric Spoelstra.
And we need the hate. We've been starved for the hate since 2010. Why are you not understanding what's happening around here?
Wait, the lights just went out on your show.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Haters.
What happened?
Haters.
Bring back our hate.
Okay. Well,
I'm sorry that the power has gone down here. I can still hear you, though, Dan. I can still hear you.
You never look better. I love it. Yeah.
Anybody got any matches?
Yeah. How about a candle?
Look,
Something.
I'm running a media empire here, Dan.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
I was very happy to see that the Ravens extended the immortal Mark Andrews a few days ago, 3-year contract. I was legitimately shocked when I read his age, though. You guys want to take just a guess? Maybe you guys won't be shocked by this. At how old Mark Andrews is, because it seemed to me that he would be a lot older than he actually is.
Is he 29?
No, he's 30 years old, but I just thought he was Kelsey's age and Ertz's age and Gronkowski's age for some reason. He's the career leader in Baltimore in yards, in receptions, in touchdowns. It just seemed to me that he was older than 30, but I think it was the Nacho Libre mustache. I think the mustache confused
You always
me.
attributed a mustache to Mark Andrews that never existed. It's a weird. He always had
Got
a
the
beard.
full scruff.
Yeah, since playing college with Baker.
You guys are telling me I did this. Somebody,
we've done this show. He's never had a
I didn't do
mustache.
this show. We did the Simone Fontecchio show where you guys said he didn't have a mustache, and I am just seeing magical mustaches everywhere. Maybe one brief November, there was a time where I saw a mustache.
No, I know what you're doing. You're thinking Baltimore. You're thinking white guy. You're thinking Joe Flacco, Fu Manchu, and then attributing that to Mark Andrews.
Thank you.
It happens. Yeah.
Thanks, Todd.
Dameshek is with us now. Football America is on Monday and Fridays, and I keep telling you that it is an excellent show. You will find yourself informed and entertained. But before we get to that, Zazzle, can you just give me some things that were so about the earth the last time that LeBron James scored fewer than double digits in a basketball game in 2007?
I can do that, Dan. How about when this streak first started, Cooper Flagg had been alive for 15 days. How about the popular shows on television, Dan? The Big Bang Theory and Mad Men would debut later that year, before Mad Men.
So was it even on television yet?
Wasn't even on television yet. How about Calvin Johnson, Adrian Peterson, Joe Thomas, Marshawn Lynch? They were drafted 3 months later.
Nick Saban was with the Dolphins.
That's right. Nick Saban was the Dolphins head coach. Do you want to guess who his quarterback was the week before LeBron's streak started?
Cleo Lemon.
Cleo Lemon.
Nice guess.
That's right.
I know ball, Jeremy.
Do you want to know how much music Adele had made at that point?
None.
None.
You guys are not playing this game right.
What do you mean?
You're doing great.
There was no iPhone, no Instagram.
There was no iPhone. There was not.
Good, Dan.
How about...
You guys are locked in.
How about a black president?
What? Impossible.
That would never happen.
Impossible.
Never allowed.
Was a pipe dream.
Dameshek is with us now. Football America, please check it out because, as I said, it is something far different than what you will normally find around your football. Dameshek is with us, and among the games this weekend, Colts, Jags, Bears, Packers, Texans, Chiefs, Steelers, Ravens. Those are a couple of 500 teams. Those are 4 500 teams at the end there, but they're still big games. The biggest of them is what, Dameshek?
Well, the greatest rivalry of the 21st century in pro football is Ravens-Steelers. That's dodging your question a little bit. Bears-Packers is real juicy. That's the greatest rivalry of the 20th century, and they've never really lined up in this millennium. I guess there have been a couple of moments. The Jay Cutler hurts his knee, and Caleb Haney almost takes the Bears to the Super Bowl, except that B.J. Raji pick sixes him and runs it in. If not for that play, we may still be talking about a Super Bowl-less Aaron Rodgers. He may never have gotten to a Super Bowl were it not for that, and otherwise it would have been Caleb Haney starting for the Chicago Bears in the Super Bowl against the aforementioned Pittsburgh Steelers. I have so many things I want to talk about. My head's swimming after listening to you guys for the last half hour or more now. Mark Andrews damning with faint praise when you say he's the all-time leader in the Ravens pass-catching departments. Who's the best receiver otherwise in Ravens history? It's very weird that they've never figured out the pass-catching position over there. The diminishment of LeBron continues to fascinate me. I don't know, in a world of actual
beginning of the
people.
end.
Diminishment.
I agree. It is the beginning of the end, but like Dan just said, he's an old man. I mean, how long do you want him to be good for? I mean, sweet Jesus.
I mean, you could argue it's the beginning of the end of his life as well. Like, he's old.
What are you doing?
He's old. He's an old person.
Yes, it's remarkable what he has done. I don't understand the ongoing desire to take shots at LeBron, who came into what is not just in sports, but one of the hardest things that's always held up in life to do, which is replace a legend. You know, the list is very short. Danny White did it successfully, but came up just a tick short in the early 80s in replacing Roger Staubach. He almost got to 3 straight Super Bowls. He didn't and isn't a Hall of Famer and is forgotten about. And then I guess after Mr. Roper and Mrs. Roper moved away from the apartment building, Mr. Furley did a keen job of filling in there with the trio who lived overhead. But, I mean, I think that's the extent of the – well, I have one more for you. Royal like this. Mario Lemieux coming into the league when Wayne Gretzky was the greatest of all time and outshining the greatest of all time as soon as he got there. By the way, Roy, I hope you're watching the Lemieux's child, Kid Crosby. LeBron may have the gout, but Crosby's still in his prime. Look out for them Penguins, right?
Crosby had the mumps. Remember that? Yeah, he had the mumps. I'm surprised LeBron hasn't had yet.
Roy, how do you feel about Dameshek's hat right now?
He's doing it despite me, Dan.
He keeps wearing the Crosby's backhand hat, and he shouldn't do that to you. It feels disrespectful.
Because it is.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, at least you're clear on that disrespect. Dameshek, that's an excellent Mr. Roper and Danny White reference for all the 80-year-olds listening to our show right now. If Lamar loses this game on, I'm assuming it's Sunday, although I shouldn't assume that. If he loses this game on Sunday, what does the conversation around Lamar become?
Throw him out the league.
You understand that the notion is that there are 2 women living together in this apartment, and then they need a third roommate. So Jack Tripper comes on.
I heard you get caught up in the air. You're distracted by them garlic rolls.
That's right.
That he's addicted to garlic rolls. He wanted to make his Three's Company joke, and he was going to stay in, and he got distracted by the fact that
How's your turkey, Dave? Like, it'd be a lot better with some of them garlic rolls from down in
your
down
breath
Miami
smelled
way.
so bad. Your breath smelled like
that is not true. Why would come in? I don't wake up at this hour to be attacked by you in a public forum. Now, who is going to get attacked in public forums, not just in Charm City, but across football America, is one Lamar Jackson. Because this is, if they were to lose this game, I mean, the division should be theirs. It is stunning that we continue to have the conversation about, is it Josh Allen's year? Is it Lamar Jackson's year? They and their pal Patrick Mahomes may all miss the playoffs. This is just the wackiest football season we've had. But, how much longer can you endure who is one of the most dynamic, one of the great quarterbacks in the history of people in Lamar Jackson, but having to deal with the grim reality that he misses long stretches almost every year for him. And if they don't get over the hump this week against a Steelers team that is just obviously in tatters, it's the worst kept secret in the world, that it feels like Mike Tomlin is in his final days there and everything is aligning for these to be the last few games for him in Pittsburgh. But what if they go into Charm City and win that game? What's the conversation around Lamar Jackson? Does he need to make the guy who LeBron always gets compared to, Michael Jordan midway through his career, and then Kobe after him, both right in the middle of their careers, decide like, oh, I'm not as dynamic anymore. I can't attack the rim. I have to become a mid-range jump shooter in order to dominate the next decade. And so they did. What's Lamar's adjustment going forward now? Something has to change in his style of play because he keeps getting hurt every year. And it's weird because it's not like he's running away from guys. They got him. He hurt his knee. See, he can't be that dangerous running around like RG3 did. It's weird. It's a sort of, wait, Lamar's hurt again kind of thing after the game, midweek kind of conversation. Like, wait, what's wrong with him now? Because you don't even see on tape in the game like, oh, that's the play he got hurt. But the facts are facts. He keeps getting hurt, and that's bad. I don't know if you've heard that cliche about the greatest ability is availability, but it seems to be proving true.
Mike, did Garlic Breath give you good advice on what it is that you should experience in Pittsburgh when you went last weekend?
He did. It was my first time ever in Pittsburgh, and I loved the city. I loved how walkable it is. I got to hang around PNC Park, which looks like a beautiful place to watch a game. Yeah, the three rivers converging. Everybody's super nice, but
Go for a swim?
I cannot believe what a terrible football atmosphere that is for a 9-time national champion in Pitt. People want to give Miami shit for Hard Rock Stadium for like a noon start. I have never been in a worse environment for football than Pittsburgh. It was so sad. It was pathetic. You could hear winds howling. They were throwing up highlights of the 2017 Kenny Pickett game. Kenny Pickett's first start. You would think if they did that at Hard Rock, everybody out of their chairs, yeah, amazing. Like one smattering of applause. I was flabbergasted. This is a program with rich tradition. Dave, you're a Pitt guy. You root on the Panthers. I did not know it was that shocking. It looks bad on TV, but it's even worse when you're in person.
What happened to you, Mike? Where I mean, are you swept up in this angsty character you've chosen to play this last fortnight at least on behalf of the U and how you've been wronged or are in line to be wronged? Is that where this comes from? I wished you nothing. I offered you my own childhood bed to sleep in last weekend, and this is your response, is to attack my beloved homeland and the football. Of course, I grew up going to Pitt Stadium on campus. That's where it's at. I don't understand where the notion. Well, I do understand where it comes from, that the idea, hey, we're playing in an NFL stadium, and this then should pique the interest of 18-year-olds. Like, oh, I'm in an NFL stadium. That means in 4 years, if things break right, I'll get to play in an NFL stadium. It holds no allure, I don't think, to the citizenry. I don't think it has much appeal to the 18-year-olds either. The on-campus stadium is where it's at. UCLA, by the way, as I'm sure you've heard, is tracking to make the exact same mistake and go to SoFi, but they're already in the Rose Bowl, which isn't all that close to UCLA.
But why is it so sad? Why is it so sad?
They're not that good.
They were playing for a spot in the ACC championship game. They were ranked. They were ranked against a top 15 team. Like, what's the excuse?
That's not true. Oh, yeah. I like I need Cristobal's little sound effect that he closes out interviews with Zaz with. I'm not here to answer questions for you about a mid-tier ACC team. Instead, I want to redirect you, Mike, on this. Why is nobody talking about the among the gilded class in college football? Why is nobody taking shots at Bama right now? I get that the battle's between the U and Notre Dame right now and who deserves it more and all of that. And I ultimately agree with you that the U has the head-to-head, so what are we talking about? We're like we talked about, Mike, on Football America last week. It is crazy that we had to get away from the argument, the poll-based argument where all hash was settled on New Year's Day every year at 5 bowl games, the 10 best teams playing. When you put your head on the pillow at the end of the night as the Orange Bowl and Sugar Bowl wrapped up, you knew 9 times out of 10 you were pretty satisfied and understanding. We all collectively agreed, like, yeah, that's the best team in the country. But we had to get away from that. That was no good. So then we had the 2 team, then the 4 team. Now we have the 12 team. We'll ultimately wind up with at least 16. And we've arrived in the exact same place, which is the conversation. Forget about the big fancy computer polls and the head-to-head results. It still has come back to this weird bespoke sort of gilded class encouraged sort of conversation around, like, yeah, but you know they're better. That's what everything comes down. Yeah, but you know Bama is
soaked
good.
in ego.
What are we talking about? Well, that's not the results. The results are supposed to be everything. And the team you're not talking about is Alabama. If Georgia beats them, it more or less, in my mind, negates their victory over Georgia. And now they're a 3-loss team. Why are they just being kissed into this without question over the U and Notre Dame? They lost to Florida State. That's a way worse loss. That's a way worse loss than SMU, who is a good team.
I'm with you, and they haven't had the benefit of playing well as a season. Like Notre Dame, they're playing their best ball. Miami, they're playing their best ball. We have not seen Alabama play an FBS team well in a month. And like I mentioned earlier on the show, it's a shame for Notre Dame fans when they do get shut out, because they will be shut out, that they haven't had a month-long propaganda fight against the likes of Oklahoma and Alabama, because they are better than those teams, as is Miami. And because it hasn't been framed that way, it's only been framed as Notre Dame and Miami, and ultimately Miami's got the win in hand. That sucks for them, because Notre Dame can win a championship this year.
I don't know how this
completely
became
agree
a
with that.
college football segment. Football America doesn't do much in the
You
college
cut him off right when he was
football
agreeing
realm.
with me.
Yeah, and while you were agreeing with him, yeah, it was really nice to hear.
I'm not a fan of today's show.
Yeah, you mentioned that. You might be a fan of Football America. Ryan Shazier, you should check out the YouTube channel as a guest today. So is Von Miller. The football, professional football, Denver, New England, and Chicago. I don't believe that the people listening to this actually believe that those are going to be Super Bowl champions because they didn't believe it before the season. And so you've had 12 games to be played here. And I think that people still don't believe it. Should they?
They absolutely should. And of course, everybody has to turn into curmudgeon, being fed grapes, and I'm going to need to see it before I believe it. Well, believe this. In this century, and we can go back deeper through the Super Bowl annals, and I will point out to you the number of young quarterbacks who win their first Super Bowl in their second year, in their fourth year, their fifth year. This is the sweet spot, especially in the 21st century. I know we like to swoon and we like to bend the knee to Brady and Peyton and everybody else, and I get it. And then that has informed the same sort of reaction to Mahomes and, like we talk about, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, everybody else. But the sweet spot for winning the Super Bowl is guys between their second and sixth seasons. That's when, in the last 25 Super Bowls, they have been won by, I think, they've been won 14 times by a quarterback in his second to sixth season. After that, in years 7 to 12, it goes down to 6 Super Bowl victories. The time to win is right now. That means Bo Nix, Drake May, Caleb Williams are in line to go to the Super Bowl. And by the way, when you get the 1 seed, I know this is obvious information, but when everything feels like a coin flip, when every game between two halfway decent teams feels like a coin flip, playing one less game is everything. So if you get the 1 seed, which is what it seems like Denver and New England's going to get, and if the Bears take care of business against Green Bay, they may get the 1 seed too. They should be the favorite based on the last 25 years, based on this millennium's history. It all points to those guys being the right teams to look at and circle, even if you like to swoon over the bigger brand name guys who, like I said 5 minutes ago, some of whom aren't even going to be in the tournament this year.
I want to ask a handful of questions about last night's game. Since you guys were so ready earlier this week, based on the last 3 games, to ignore the last 30 years of Jerry Jones's resume and declare that he was indeed a good GM based on the last 3 games of fixing the defense, after the 1-game sample of last night, is he now a bad GM?
Yes.
Okay. The next question is...
I feel like you were talking directly to me there.
Was that a safety? Last night, I thought that was a safety. I did not know the rules on...
I hate that about this sport. And that's like the most obvious example ever of it being a safety.
Everyone loves a safety, and the referees refuse to award them. It's like the most exciting play.
So we've been told it's like where the contact is initiated and where the football is. Both those things happen in the end zone. Why does no one want to call a safety?
I did not know the rule. I was impressed by Ross Tucker last night, another hardworking sports person. He explained the rule instantaneously, where he said, in that instance, if you didn't see it, Dak Prescott was trying to get out of the end zone, and it seemed like some of the football was still in the end zone. He says it's the opposite of the goal line. He says the goal line, when you score a touchdown on offense, all you've got to do is touch the goal line. On a safety, all that has to be in the end zone is a piece of the football still in the end zone. And it looked on video like there was still football in the end zone. So how was that not a safety?
It was a safety, and they got it wrong. And Jake Ferguson did not commit OPI, and they got that wrong too. So, if we're going to overreact to what we saw on Thursday Night Football, I guess I don't know. If the Cowboys would have survived that game, we would be having a different conversation than the one we're having. And if Jake Ferguson gets to, if that play doesn't get overturned, then that might be the conversation that the Cowboys are going to the playoffs and the Lions are finished. But I guess that's why. Here's the other thing about safety. Are we so limited? You're a wordsmith, Dan. Explain to me how we came up so short that we had to use the word safety to describe 2 things in football. I get it with the position of safety. It's the last line of defense. If all else fails, at least we have somebody on the back end to keep us safe. What's safe about a 300-pound man landing on you in the end zone? It's the opposite of safe. That's not safe. Why did we just, was it 4:59 p.m. on a Friday? We'll just call that a safety too. 2 points for that. And by the way, the one thing that does save it, it's the most exotic symbol in all of sports, right? I love when the
Please stop doing that. Please, you're belly dancing. It's a bit sensual. I need you to stop doing that. I'm being made uncomfortable as I was when Tony came in here and with a profound disrespect for history, proclaimed today that Jahmyr Gibbs is the modern day Barry Sanders.
I did say that. I actually said that a couple weeks ago on my Tony's Top 5 where I said Jahmyr Gibbs is better than Barry Sanders right now.
What? Howie Long said Jahmyr Gibbs is the best player in football a couple of weeks ago, and I was struck by that, and I wonder who you would nominate if it's not Jahmyr Gibbs right now. Oh, quick question for you before you answer that one, too. I asked Von Miller this, and now I ask it to the gang here. You can only have one, Gold Jacket or Lombardi. Which would you guys choose?
Super Bowl champion?
No, players would all choose the gold jacket. They would all choose gold jacket.
Lombardi.
You all would? It's funny. Every guy, and I've asked a bunch of guys this question, the only guy to ever get it wrong, in my opinion, was, you'll be stunned, the only guy to ever say gold jacket. Well, actually, two people have said it. Cam Newton took the gold jacket over the Lombardi, and Antonio Brown.
They're being honest.
The gold jacket over the Lombardi.
They're being honest. So many more guys win the Lombardi than go to the
we had this question that we posed to Robert Ory one time because I'm just going to say years around here, we were having some version of the discussion of would you rather be Charles Barkley or Robert Ory? Robert Ory won 6 times. And we asked Robert Ory, and he said, I'd rather be Charles Barkley.
Dave, if there was a gold jacket on the field in Super Bowl 50 as opposed to a loose football, would Cam Newton have gone for that?
I get it. He didn't jump on the ball. The answer is,
what kind of laugh was that?
A fake
one,
Dan.
Patronizing
A
one.
fake one.
Pity. Who chooses to enter my city and have a gay old time, run amok, and then disparage it on his way out of town. I may as well just go up to the Franco statue and knock the football out of his hand before you board your flight.
Frank.
Ryan. I don't like that.
Dameshek, good talking to you. That is the thing that I will remember for this particular encounter.
Can I tell you something before I go? It's important.
Yeah.
All right. This is, listen, high stakes, obviously, not just the division title and a playoff spot for the AFC North, but in this rivalry between Pittsburgh and Baltimore, these are the stakes. And if you're on the fence about which side to choose here, the Steelers are named after the mid-century heroes who forged the steel that built the tanks and ships used to defeat the Nazi scourge. That's one side. The other side, the Ravens are named after a poem written by a Boston native who married his 13-year-old cousin, moved to Baltimore, got drunk, and died. Go ahead and root for Baltimore and root for Mussolini while you're at it, because you're anti-freedom. Goodbye. Goodbye, Steelers.
At Le Batard Show, put it on the poll. If you're rooting for the Ravens, are you rooting for Mussolini?
Yeah.
Also,
Nazi scourge.
Also, I think he asked a good question. I don't know why it's called a safety. And I don't know why in football they have safeties playing on defense and call it a safety when you get 2 points. Do any of you know why it's called a safety? Do we have the origins of why it is that they named it a safety? Because I don't actually know the answer to his question. And as happens very often with Football America, it leaves me to ponder a lot of irrelevant things that I had not pondered before.
It appears Jeremy has the answer.
It comes from an old rugby strategy because at the beginning of football, you would start with the ball placed near your goal line. So the safe strategy was to potentially run out of the back of the end zone the same way that the safety on the other side of the field is the last line of defense.
Thank you, and thank you as well to Dameshek. I was thinking during the game last night as I'm changing just rules all over the place because there are only it is funny to think about the fact that professional football only has most games about 10 to 11 minutes of actual action. Most of it is just milling around, huddling, but the action in an NFL game is about 11 minutes. And so I'd like to just eliminate the quarterback sneak. I'd like to have it banished from football. I don't want it anymore in the game. It's not an interesting play. I want a team to have to run an actual play on 4th and short or 3rd and short that has a chance of being contested. Is anyone with me on this? Just banishing the quarterback sneak. If you're going to only give me 11 minutes of action, I don't want any of it to be tush-push. I don't want any of it to be quarterback sneak. So give me actual football.
We're talking the quintessential Brady quarterback sneak, right? Under center, he takes it, he gets a yard. You want to abolish that
I
play.
want to get rid of it because if you're only going to give me 11 minutes of action, I don't want any of the action to be that. It's too precious and it's not a real play. It's nonsense. It's boring. Give me an actual football.
So you'd rather a fullback trap instead?
That's correct. Give it to Ingold. That's what I want the ball in Ingold's hand. I want to bring back the fullback. Look at Dameshek still arguing from the beyond.
That's right. I want back on. I have more to say. I'm not done yet. I'm going to sit here and keep talking so you can turn my mic on or not. Now, here's what would jazz up the QB sneak and football in general. Let's move the goalposts back up to the goal line. Forget about them at the back of the end zone. Let's put them right there. What a utensil for the offense to run to be able to run the defensive back. Oh, it'd be the greatest. And by the way, you line the ball up. Did they do this? I've asked old people about. Well, I'm an old person now too, but did they used to just line the ball up directly in front of the goalpost? Because what's the defense for that? If you just run the ball, like, I'm going to QB sneak it right into the goalpost, defender. The goalpost is there, so you can't be there physically. Touchdown. I think that, but I like where your head's at. And by the way, it's going to be real weird if the Eagles do win. It looks less and less likely. But if they win the Super Bowl on the back of the tush push again, and then the NFL abolishes it, those titles are going to feel real weird. That a primary reason they got them is a rule that has now been eradicated. That'd be very strange, right?
Dave, what year did they take the goalposts and move them to the back of the end zone?
I don't know. It was. Must have been, like 66 or thereabouts?
What does the Canadian Football League do with its actual goalposts? The goalposts aren't in the back of the end zone in the Canadian Football
They're
League.
10 deep. I mean, there have to be so many videos in the CFL, from the CFL days, of guys just smacking into those things, right? I mean, you can use them
I'm guessing that's why they moved them.
There's no crossing route that you can
run. If I had to just guess, I'm going to say, like you mentioned safety. That seems to be something that would be deeply unsafe to have just basically a barricade in the middle of
a steel beam. Dan, call it what it is. It's a steel beam defender.
I just like the idea that one day, like this literally happened, right? One day there was a meeting, and someone in that meeting said, yo, that huge steel beam in the middle of the end zone, maybe we do something about it.
I love how you're talking about it. It's in the past when every CFP committee meeting moves the goalpost back.
Look who's still wrong.
Again with the college football analysis. Thank you, Dameshek.
Said it cleanly.
Well, they actually followed
Tache
that,
and Zaz. Tell Dan about the great list we talked about. Both have passed through Football America's halls recently, and we've had great
You
conversations.
sent me that list by email, and I want you to stop bothering me with that list.
It's a good list. It's the greatest list I've ever put together, and I've put together all the great lists.
Get him out
What
of here.
say you?
Football America, I'm telling you, it's a fun and informative listen, and I'm really enjoying. We have never had quite this sound of indignation on our show before from any of our cast members. I don't even think that's his longest one, and that's just the one. That's the reaction to an accusation that I don't believe he can deny, but if he were to deny it, he would do so with bad breath, which is his garlic bread.
This made-up tale about me. This is what you've got.
I saw me 24 garlic rolls at Flanagan's, Dan.
His breath smelled like it. It smelled like a garlic factory.
Tony and his fake news. I don't like this talk. I don't like it one bit.
Get out of here.
Go back to talking about Crosby.
No, get out of here.
No.
Dameshek, Football America. If you want.
Pittsburgh Penguins center iceman, maybe the greatest position group for one franchise in the history of people.
That's Robert Downey Jr. going to a knee in Tropic Thunder and saying, I'm a lead farmer, mother bleeper.
Happened to Luce Serranin, too.
Oh, I'm sorry, concussed quarterback. When you wake up, you're going to find out 2 points against you. Why? Safety.
Get out of here.
Safety? He's hurt. Don't you see? He's down on these. It's not safe what happened to him.
Football
it's the opposite
America is the name of the podcast. Please stop belly dancing. Dameshek, I could smell your garlic breath from here. You ate 2 dozen garlic rolls.
Take that hat off.
You ate 2 dozen garlic rolls.
The girl's like, you want another?
No, it was staggering to
Another
watch.
order.
The Dolphins' greatest rival is the Jets. That's what I learned.
Thank you. Control the program. Just leave him in picture talking to himself. I don't want to hear his voice anymore on the show. If you want more Dameshek, you can hear him and watch him on YouTube. Football America is the name of the podcast. Mike Ryan had a really lovely innocence about a first joyful experience with his daughter that he has not been able to do before. And I'm wondering if the rest of you took the same kind of delight in lying to your children and tricking your children with the, and a spoiler alert, because I got in trouble when I did this with Santa Claus, spoiler alert, the tooth fairy. There have been allegations that perhaps that's not a real thing and not verifiable. There may indeed be a tooth fairy, but did you guys have fun with the tooth fairy experience?
I think you talked around that well. So I got
some parent was like, all right, I don't think he's going to do it. And then he did it.
Yeah. I've got
allegations. Yeah. Let me talk around this. Fake.
All right. I've got 3 people that are dads to older children. So I'm curious your
first one's
experience.
expensive.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing I want to talk about. What's it going rate for a tooth these days? But my daughter was a total pro. I was trying to help her out with it. I got so queasy trying to pull a tooth out of my 6-year-old daughter's mouth. And she just got like a piece of floss, and she's like, I got it from here. Hey, don't worry. We're good, bro. Just like Colin Cowherd and LeBron James and Ben Simmons. We're good,
You could do the door method, too.
Yeah. I want to do the football one where you tie like a piece of floss.
You just got to make sure that it's really ready to come out.
Yeah. This one was really ready. And so we've been prepping for this because it's been loose for a couple of weeks. So we got this way too sophisticated receptacle for the tooth. It's in a pouch, but inside the pouch, there's a vial with like a little like bottle top on it that you have to pop off. And she decided to put the placement of it hanging above her bed on like a post.
Oh, wow.
So I had to sneak in there like Ethan Hunt.
Wow.
And have to undo this entire contraption. And also there was a slit for money. And I had to find cash. I haven't had cash since the Obama administration, but I got cash.
Can Venmo her?
I can't Venmo her. She doesn't have a Venmo. My going rate was $20. But it was $20.
That's a ton.
First tooth, parents get excited. It's a thing.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. So
Yeah.
the teeth.
We'll
Wait a minute.
explain inflation later.
Okay, but you're gonna. So you're telling me that your children find that the tooth fairy gets on increasingly hard times after that first time and gets cheaper. Like the tooth fairy evidently has a budget problem.
She will learn.
The tooth fairy is broke. $20 sounds like way too much. At Le Batard Show, put it on the poll. Tooth fairy tooth, $20. Over or under?
I got a dad chat, and there's some people that throw $50 around.
Whoa. No, $20 sounds like too much.
For me, a $5 first tooth and $1 the rest of the way.
So you get their expectations high with the first one, and then you start undercutting them. It's like, yeah, it's a molar.
It's where
You
they
don't care.
learn. Hey, sometimes in life,
I would have
things
thought
happen.
that you were such an asshole that you did it with Bitcoin.
That could go up, though.
I'm holding on to that. I mean,
But first, I want to ask, like the dads here that have done this before, placement of the tooth. Like, have you ever been caught What's your method? And then you can tell me like the money that you lay under there. But
you got to get more.
It's kind of like thrilling because you're like Indiana Jones.
You can't let her set the rules. You should have told her on the front end, hey, the tooth fairy will not take the tooth unless it's under the pillow. I know you want to do this cool contraption thing, but we can't do it because I read the rules and you got to have it under the pillow.
Why are you like the Colts quarterback?
You know the rules.
We haven't done it yet. Her baby teeth haven't come out yet, so we have to have that extracted at the dentist.
That is Claire. How old is Claire?
8.
Whoa.
Yeah, I thought
Graceland's lost like 12 teeth.
It's going to be so weird to tell her there's a tooth fairy when she's 24 and you're taking out her first tooth. I can't believe she's 8 years old. Because I thought Claire was older than Juliet, but
she is. Yeah.
Yeah, but 2 years older and hasn't lost a tooth. That sounds unusual.
Yeah, it seems like I'm going to end up paying her $250 at 26 years old.
Well,
once the first tooth comes out.
But does $20 not sound like a lot to you?
I feel like I probably gave $20 on the first tooth.
I feel like your son broke your kneecap and told you, hey, give me 50.
I feel like $5 is the right amount to give a child.
Kids have no idea about money. You can give them a piece of paper and they're like, oh, yeah, cool.
All the more reason to sucker them.
You can tell them that $5 bill is $500.
You can give them a $1 bill and be like, this is $1 million.
Okay, a little judgy. I was excited.
No, I like
No,
I think I probably did 20 the first tooth too. Even though I'm saying 5 now is the right number.
But it's rich. You guys are going that's heavy-handed for a child to give $20 for a tooth, especially if you're gonna walk it back in subsequent
You're looking at
years.
a golden cane, Dan. He's good for it.
You want to talk about inflation? Ever since I joined, it's gone up like $5K every year. This is insane.
I imagine that the players have gotten a lot more expensive since
the
pandemic started.
I just pieced it together.
you just,
Never mind the extra stuff, Dan.
You just figured out. So none of you have had a wonderful or innocent tooth fairy experience?
Well, he's asking the opposite. Have we gotten caught? I've had no horrific.
Have you been busted?
No, I've not.
Because if you put it under the pillow, you also have to make sure, like, how under are we talking? Is it central in the pillow? Because then you want to talk about Indiana Jones and the sandbag. Like, how do you do both?
In my experience, once these kids are actually asleep, you could pick them up and move them. Like these kids don't
waking up by being nudged a little bit.
And even if they wake up, you could be like, "This is a dream," and then they just go right back to sleep.
But this guy's a good dad.
You're a good dad.
This guy's a good dad.
A gad.
This isn't real. You can make it scary too. Like, I'm gonna kill you. Like, whoa.
Probably not a good idea.
My daughter's into scary dreams right now.
None of you had an innocent experience with this where you just delighted in the doing of it.
It was wonderful. It was a real rush. Heart was pumping. You don't want to wake them up.
Wow.
And it's a benchmark. It's a cute little thing. I can't wait for Roy to do it when Claire's in high school.
Mystery Crate, check it out this week. A lot of fun. Jeremy gets shamed by our CEO of Meadowlark for heating up Brussels sprouts in the kitchen.
I didn't know that they gave off a stench. I know fish does.
Oh, they smell terrible.
Yeah, see, to
Brussels
me,
sprouts, bottom 3 vegetable in the microwave. I'd say top 3 Brussels sprouts, 2 cauliflower, 1 broccoli.
But as somebody who's complained about Jeremy's microwaving habits, I'm okay with vegetables. Just get the fish out of here. Like the smelly vegetables I can handle. Just get the fish out of my life.
To be fair, the Brussels sprout smell really didn't linger. It was only in the beginning where the fish sticks around.
So we have that. We talk about the top 10 deep cut days of the year. It's not just your birthday and holidays. Okay, we go into the deep cuts. What are the best days of the year? We talk a little bit about the worst days of the year.
And also,
Wicked.
We talk Wicked and a little bit of sports.
A little bit of sports. Is Mike Tomlin? Is this it for Mike Tomlin? I don't know. Let's all talk really high-pitched. Jim.
Shakes and creaks down here with the enthusiasm. We've lost all power down here, so I'm sorry this isn't a better televised affair.
Do you? Is this? I like it.
Here?
I like it. I like it. By candlelight.
Can you see me? Okay. Can you see me? No.
Is this the Le Batard Blair Witch Project?
I'm sorry that I literally, after leaving ESPN, can't keep the lights on.
Stugotz, pay the bills for the man, will you?
You want me to pay the bills? Get out of here. I don't pay my own bills.
How big is Jimmy Butler? If we had power rankings in Miami. I know. Our athlete power rankings. Is he a 1 seed?
Oh, yeah.
What do you?
Oh, yeah. Are you kidding me?
Dan, you are doing the show I've always wanted to do. Power rankings for Jimmy Butler. I mean, God bless you.
Yeah.
Man.
1 seed.
Yeah.
1A.
Okay. Over anybody with the Dolphins. Anybody else come into? Anybody from the Florida Panthers? You know?
Okay, you're talking about present or all time?
How about current? And then we could do all time.
Okay, but this is what we need to do if we're going to go to,
Can you put up a test pattern at least on your screen there, like something? It's just.
Buddy, I don't have control of the technology here.
This is embarrassing.
It is embarrassing. You don't think I'm embarrassed right now? Or do you think that I'm filled with buoyant champion pride right now?
This is why Mike Ryan left.
But he hasn't left. You just can't see him because he's got his head in his hands in the dark. I can see
Well,
it.
he's going to be leaving. Yeah.
I'm leaving now.
Yeah. I'd get out. Get out while you can.
To answer your question, this is why it's funny, the question that you just asked. Yes, Jimmy Butler is in the process of trying to wrestle away the legacy and team of the Miami Heat from Dwayne Wade gave us the greatest feeling and LeBron James gave us the greatest feeling. However, in the last two games, Caleb Martin has been their star. Caleb Martin has been their best player. Over the last few games, our Michael Jordan has been outplayed by Caleb Martin over the last half of the series.
He should have been the MVP last night.
Well, that's Reggie Miller's fault. He said it on the broadcast again and again.
Why are you yelling? You don't even have lights on there. You don't even have the status to yell at me right now.
Because Reggie Miller told us on the broadcast last night.
Surprised the audio works there out of that studio. Good God. Goodness gracious. Man.
Can you see me at all?
No. It's a dark screen.
Why am I holding these lights to my face, making me sweat?
He's been holding the phone to his face for 15 minutes.
Dan, for 12 minutes you have been in the black and in the dark.
You can't see me at all?
No.
The power is out in the building, Dan.
This is great.
I have no idea how we're connected to Dan Patrick, honestly.
It's hot in here, too.
All right. Well, now I'm here. Now you don't have any signal here coming. Oh my God, I feel bad for you.
Metal Arc
You've
Media.
fallen already.
Hiring now.
Yeah.
Hiring now.
Hopefully,
As media falls apart all over the United States.
How about technicians? Hiring technicians right now, a lighting director, something like that.
Still trying to decide if I'm going to go to this Cup final this weekend. All the soccer media in town. I'm going to check out the Game Time app and take the guesswork out of buying soccer tickets with that Game Time app. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code Dan for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code DAN for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download the Game Time app today.
You have heard me say a number of different times how overwhelmed I am by the sheer amount of support that this show has when we get 100 million streams on Spotify over the year, and it's just Spotify because we're on in a number of different places more than we've ever been now on NBC Sports Now every day as well. I am truly moved all the time by the following this show has and how loyal the support is. So, when I ask you to support things, you almost always do, and LeBatardAF.com right now has a toy drive going on that makes it very easy for you to help some kids have a good Christmas who might not have a good Christmas. You can make a child's Christmas better with a few clicks at LeBatardAF.com. It's tax deductible. None of this is going to us. It's all about helping children who might not otherwise have toys for Christmas. So please support those kids. And also support Tony this weekend as he does another MMA hangout. He's created something out of nothing there. What are the details we need to know, Tony, about what you're doing this weekend?
Last one of the year, Dano. We got the Bantamweight Championship of the World. We've got Merab Dvalishvili versus Piotr Jan 2. We've also got Josh Van, who's an up-and-comer young kid, 26 years old, absolute lightning in the octagon, fighting against one of the GOATs right now, probably of his division, the flyweight division, which is Alexander Pantoja. They'll be fighting. We'll be over at Dev Flamingo, 10 p.m., last card of the year, and then next year, moving into January, Paramount Plus, 9 p.m. starts now in the future. Which
Did you see that card? For
Card's gonna be fun. Card's gonna be fun. But Paramount Plus, we're gonna be there. So 9 p.m. start in the next part of the year. But for the last one, 10 p.m. start, Dev Flamingo on Saturday.
Zaslow, how did the airlines rip you off this week?
Oh my God.
I'm surprised and delighted to have you here today. I was expecting you to have to go somewhere as you usually do.
I am. I'm in on
Fridays.
Fridays now, dog, but I am going somewhere this afternoon. Yeah, I'm in on Fridays now,
Nah,
player.
I don't like that.
Well, get used to it, man. This is the drill. I'm in on Fridays now. This is my last weekend. I'm going to the SEC Championship game. I'm leaving this afternoon, and then I'm here on Fridays. That's right. Okay, so here's what happened. So I'm taking my wife for Valentine's. We're going to Vegas. She's never been before. So we're going to Vegas, all right? And, we're perusing the flights. We want to get a good deal. Do we do nonstop? Do you go for the cheapest flight? Yeah, usually nonstop. We found a great flight. This was 2 days ago. Actually, I think it was yesterday morning. We found a great flight coming back from Vegas, flying back here on JetBlue. Non-stop, Dan, $175. That's an incredible one way.
That's a top tooth.
Good deal.
$175 non-stop. Not even at the crack of dawn. It's like 11 a.m. Pacific time. Don't need to explain time zones, Dan. You understand how time zones work, right? So anyway, I go to book them both, but the price for the two of them, it ends up being like $500. Like, whoa, $500 when I had just one person. It was only $175. Okay, I'll back out. I'll buy them each individually. All right, $175, get the good deal. So I book mine, $175, great. I go back to book my wife's, $450. Within minutes, they changed the price and even said that value is not available any longer. I'm like, all right, well, as of right now, I'm the only one flying back from Vegas.
I know what happened. You weren't grouped together in the same tier. Yeah.
You don't know what happened? You don't know if the price went up the moment your one ticket made availability make the price go up because there were fewer tickets available?
And then I had to explain. No, but there were lots of seats on the plane still.
That's the bullshit.
And then my wife, she's like, hey, you know what? Why is there only one ticket booked? And I was like sheepishly embarrassed. Well, here's what happened. So she's like, so I'm not flying home. I live in Vegas now?
You know how sometimes you see, like, on a ticket, only one left? I never believed that. Maybe that was the case.
Well, it's not true. I looked at the seating chart. There's like 30 seats
Maybe
left.
they offer a certain amount at a certain price.
Dynamic pricing, guys.
So right now, I'm flying home. She's still at the hotel. We'll see what happens.
So much for ladies first.
My suggestion for Valentine's Day would be to do the opposite, but you do you.
You want to take some romantic advice there from Jeremy
you
Taché?
should.
I mean, aren't I being like a good husband then? Hey, we're going home, but you can still stay and have fun. I'm going home though. That's like nice, right?
Because I'm cheap. Because I don't want to spend the extra couple $100.
Yeah, you do that.
Because I'm romantic.
Wearing your finest Shawn Michaels T-shirt while you do it.
I mentioned earlier, and I'm sorry that Tom Bogert is being ignored.
he's still here.
Over
I'm
the
sorry that
course
he is here.
of the last 45 minutes. I did notice during Dameshek he was in his phone, but so was Mike Ryan. Dameshek, do better, okay? Garlic breath. You've got Mike Ryan and Tom in their phone while you're talking.
I'm sorry, I was tweeting out SOS ratings.
But you've got the World Cup draw today, and I know the two of you are interested in this, even if Tom is saying he doesn't love the 9 hours of programming.
It's supposed to be 90 minutes. We'll see if they stick to that. So I said, without much data behind me, I'm like, this is the third biggest audience in sports. And I looked it up. I said that it might touch a billy. Highest audience for this specific event is 300 million viewers. The biggest audience in the history of sports was France versus Argentina. Messi finally wins the World Cup. 1.5 billion people were watching that. But when you look at things like social impressions and people that finally get around to this, this is arguably the third biggest audience in the history of sports potentially today. It's more than double what you would see for the biggest Super Bowl audience ever. And it is a spectacle. It's in Washington, D.C. We've mentioned that they're going to honor the president of the United States of America with a newly invented Peace Prize because he didn't win the Nobel one. But all of it is going to be pure FIFA. A salute to Gianni Infantino, a salute to America, and if you put in a random FIFA entertainer generator, who performs at this thing? It spits out Andrea Bocelli first. We got him. It spits out Robbie Williams second. And then it spits out Nicole Scherzinger third. Does it ever spit out the Village People? I wonder whose call that was. I'm not at liberty to guess. But the Village People are also going to be there.
They're still doing it. The Village People are still doing it.
I don't know whose call that was. It seems random.
Are they going to win the Peace Prize?
They can't still be doing it.
You're going to see the dance, and you're going to see the Village People doing the dance, and you're also going to see a proud Miami hometown hero, Danny Ramirez, a part of this broadcast.
Ooh, that's Falcon.
Yeah. Heidi Klum, and this guy, glad to see him finally getting some more. Kevin Hart, going to be part of the proceedings.
Are you not stunned that the Village People are still out here doing it? Put it on the Paulette Le Batard Show. I was surprised the other day to see that AC/DC is still touring.
Yeah, still running around there in a schoolboy outfit.
At almost 80. Isn't that's got to be 80 years old. Yeah. I can't believe, I didn't think that the Village People were still a thing. Did you guys know that the Village People were still a thing?
Yeah, because of who's president.
Of course I did.
I mean, did you see the Temptations performed halftime last night?
There's like one original Temptation left.
There's also one original member of the Village People.
I saw Prime showed like 4 seconds of the Temptations. They're like, Temptations halftime show, and they went 10 seconds and then went to break.
Tom, what are you looking forward to today? What are you interested in? I imagine it's just the soccer. You don't have much time for the entertainment?
Correct. And I have a dream and a nightmare potential World Cup draw for the U.S., if you're interested.
That's what you look out for here. If you're an American, if you've got a second allegiance, like you want to avoid the group of death. You're the host nation here, so you should get a favorable draw, especially since it's going to be pretty corrupt. You got the United States of America and FIFA. It's like the superpowers of corruption right now.
So don't you think that because they're hosting, because it's Washington, and because, as you mentioned, FIFA is another word for corrupt, aren't you assuming that the United States will get the dream draw? They're not going to see Italy early, are they?
I hope that it's not fixed, but we shall see where the ping pong balls go. I
hope
guarantee
it is fixed. What are you kidding me?
Is there a possibility that they could be grouped with nations we are presently threatening war with? Because I think that's a possibility.
That's a good storyline.
Yeah, like Venezuela, the
They didn't
Irans,
qualify.
Iran, like who else? Like certainly nations that are on our travel ban list are at play here.
Yep.
What are the dream and worst scenarios?
Which one do you want first?
I want the dream scenario first.
A little optimism. All right. The dream is USA in first. Second pot, Australia. Third pot, Scotland. Fourth pot, Cape Verde.
Oh, wow.
And you like us there.
Those countries suck, you're saying.
Ooh.
Relatively. It's not the nightmare. It's not the worst teams that you can get.
All those teams are hoping for U.S. though, right?
Yes.
I'd be nervous about that draw. Mexico's kind of down bad right now. Tom can speak to that. Like of these host nations, Canada's not in the worst spot. Which when they announced the host nations, you'd be most fearful of Mexico, and their program's really not in a good place.
Yeah, they're struggling. They're playing most of their games in America for money. And then some of the players have come out and said, no wonder why we play in America, because all the fans hate us.
And the nightmare scenario?
Nightmare is we get Colombia in the second pot, Norway in the third, and then Italy in the fourth.
And no way of knowing whether or not any of this is corrupt. We're assuming it is not corrupt. It's a little difficult. Well, people do make the allegation with the NBA and the lottery balls that there is corruption there. FIFA is among the most corrupt things that you will find. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. More corrupt in sports, FIFA or boxing? FIFA or boxing? Take a choice. Because I think the first thing I think of when I think of corruption in sports is FIFA. It's not boxing.
The NCAA is up there. Pretty close.
Here we go again.
You would tune in on Monday to find out. But I would part of that is curious. I am curious to see like what we do with Erling Haaland. Like, how does the United,
I hope we don't find out.
How does the United States go up potentially against the likes of Erling Haaland, who would just toy with the U.S.'s back line?
How tall is he? Excuse me, because he just seems bigger than anyone else who plays soccer.
He's like 6'4", and he's faster than everybody else too.
6'4" in soccer is pretty big.
Yeah,
it's pretty gigantic.
I think the U.S. tallest player is 6'4".
The idea that we will get that you would get 1.5 billion people to watch anything is crazy to me. I understand that Messi's last game or Messi's World Cup final obviously would be spectacle, but the idea that somebody would be that kind of draw and then have a game this weekend that Tom is saying, yes, soccer people are interested in this game, but when you talk about 1.5 billion as a number, that's not just soccer people. That's people who are just finding, I mean, to think of anything as 15, what are we talking about, 150 times the Super, like what, 15 times the Super Bowl audience, right, is 1.5 billion. If that's just nuts. That's nuts. No,
it's a global game.
I did the numbers wrong there on the amount of audience that you would get for a game. I just can't imagine 1.5 billion people watching anything.
It's a bummer because the energy around this one, and I'm a huge soccer fan, and I've been waiting literally since I was a child for the opportunity to host the World Cup again. And given the current climate and how people view the U.S., I'm not as pumped, and I wish that the soccer team was in a place that I had more faith in. When this was first announced, I'm like, yeah, that's enough cycles away for us to actually have a chance to win this thing, because host nations, there is a lot of Cinderella stories there. So I'm hopeful, and I know I'm going to be smacked in the face once again with politics, and I'm going to hate it, and it's going to take a lot of the air out of the situation for me. But I am still charged up to see where the U.S. gets grouped. And I hope against hope that I can find a way to muster up that childlike enthusiasm, because the one in the 90s changed my life. I have so many vivid memories of Alexi Lalas and the final in the Rose Bowl. And I've been really looking forward to this my entire life. And I'm a little bit more optimistic. Pochettino has the team playing a little bit better. I think his strategy that we were a little hard on really cultivated a lot of depth for the United States there, but I don't know. It's a bummer that I'm not as excited as I once envisioned.
Last time I was on the show, all it was negativity, pessimism, because that's where the program was. Things have turned around in a better way. It is still not, Mike, I don't think that you'd think it's on a strong footing, but it's for sure better than what looked like rock bottom.
Will we know the locations today of the games?
Yes. Yeah. And the U.S. in the group stage are 2 games, I believe, in L.A. and 1 in Seattle.
So, Chris, you should reach out to your father, because both he and I in Los Angeles, last time he mentioned the Alexi Lalas team, the last time that we watched all of that together, your father and I were in Los Angeles, and it was so hard to get a hotel room because the World Cup was in town that we were in a tiny motel in downtown Los Angeles, which I've never stayed in. I've stayed in hotels in Tallahassee that are bad. I've stayed in bad hotels. I've never stayed in a worse hotel than the one I stayed in with your father at the World Cup, because we just simply couldn't get rooms, because when the World Cup comes to your country, it's total insanity.
DTLA in the mid-90s?
Oh, yeah. Just reach out to your father and ask him to describe what he remembers. What I remember is him drinking at the motel bar, which was one of the saddest places.
There was a motel bar?
Yes, but it was.
Did the Night Stalker say hello?
It was all tiki, though. It wasn't a real bar. It's a folding chair. It's 4 folding chairs and a desk. It's not a real bar.
Hey, let me introduce you, Dan, to my friend Richard Ramirez.
Did they serve Miller Lite?
Always.
Always and
that's
everywhere.
all that matters.
That is the only thing that matters. You need to get some information from your father on this, though, Chris, because he'll have good details. I wanted to go back for a second and talk some college football here, because Mike Elko, what happened to him after the Texas A&M Texas game where he's trying to do a press conference and he's bothered because he was on the doorstep of going unbeaten in the SEC. He was on the doorstep of beating Texas and, just having an undefeated team.
Having a bye.
Having an undefeated team and no shame in losing to Texas if you're Texas A&M. You've been doing it the entire time that Texas A&M has existed. But here is Mike Elko trying to talk after the game, and basically so many people are having fun in the locker room that he's outside of, that is evidently the Texas locker room, or fans that he can't be heard really and gets annoyed.
We didn't play the way we needed to. Can we close the door and run a professional press conference, please? My gosh.
Glare. That last 4 seconds.
He didn't get that pissed off when Stugotz said he was ugly. When he was on God Bless Football and Stugotz told him that compared to Marcus Freeman, even he had to admit he was ugly.
Second takeaway from that was mighty sausage fingers. I've only seen that once before in my life. I've never seen that video before. That's hilarious.
Speaking of Stugotz, see if you can see what part of the body Mike Elko has that is exactly like Stugotz's. And here's a hint. It's the sausage fingers.
We didn't play the way we needed to. Can we close the door and run a professional press conference, please? My gosh. Sorry.
Mike Elko reminds me of something that happened 2 years ago when he was hired. Do you remember how Mike Elko became the Texas A&M head coach? He wasn't the initial hire.
They didn't want a Stoops.
They didn't want Mark Stoops. They took Kentucky's head coach, who Kentucky decided to fire a couple of days ago. I think he's owed $37 million by today. I mean, it would have been a disaster hire. And Aggie Nation made sure that wouldn't happen.
I vaguely remember.
They would not abide by Mark Stoops being their program's head coach.
But, how close were they to actually hire?
The deal was done. He was boarding a plane. He was the coach. He won the search. And they threw a rash and a shit, Dan. They threw both of them.
Both of them?
Both of them. A rash and a shit.
I thought it was a rash of shit. It was just
a rash and a shit.
Our former caller?
No, not a rash.
I thought it was a rash of shit. You're saying it's a rash and shit, both of them.
Yeah. Or what some other people call a hissy fit. And they made their school not hire Mark Stoops and hire Mike Elko instead. This happened once before where the Tennessee fans didn't want Greg Schiano, I believe. Oh, yeah. Remember that? I guess that one worked out. Schiano's not lighting the world on fire over at Rutgers. But they were invoking Penn State as a reason why to not hire him. But a lot of times we like to hold up when fans thought a head coaching hire was going to be bad and you're stupid. You got to let the pros decide. This time the fans were on the money. And Texas A&M is one of the best teams in the nation. They're in the college football playoff, and it's all thanks to their passion, them taking to the streets in the way that Premier League fans have changed the history of soccer. They stopped Super League. The only thing close in this nation to the power that the fans have in Europe is college football in college towns. And those fans deserve to be saluted.
How about when WWE fans got Rock out of the main event of WrestleMania so Cody Rhodes could finish his story? How about that?
If you want to talk wrestling, now we have our opportunity to talk about, is Heyman your favorite professional wrestling manager, like in the history?
Bobby Heenan for me, but Heyman's right there.
All right. So Heyman had a moment the other day that was great professional wrestling manager heel moment where he just shoves a kid. There's a kid in his way, and he didn't want to see the kid, and he just physically moves the kid in a way that's aggressive and I think could constitute something close to assault.
Good security there.
Yeah, they just let him right through. They let the kid through, and Heyman's got no time for that.
One thing I never understand, and Paul Feinbaum does this too, must be a Paul thing. You already got the horseshoe. Do you need to dye the horseshoe?
Put it on the poll. Once you have the cul-de-sac for hair, should you be dyeing it at Le Batard Show?
What's the logic there? Walk me through this process. Let me dye this so people think I look young.
Well, walk me through the process of why it is Brock Bowers insists as a young person to continue to
You
be
always go back to Brock.
because I've never seen such dominance with that hairline. Terry Bradshaw used to be the standard here. I sort of deduct respect and credit from a champion if that's the hairline, and I get very few chances to do that with dominance. I'm going to have a hard time explaining to anybody who comes 50 years from now who didn't see Bowers play. Like Tony will tell you here that he just looked up Barry Sanders' stats and he was shocked at what it is that he saw.
Very good.
What
Very
he
good
saw.
stats.
It'll be hard to explain to your kids how it is that Brock Bowers was better than Rob Gronkowski or any tight end you've ever seen with that hairline. He's got to go bald. He won't look strange at all if he were to just go bald.
Yeah, Jason Witten dominated at that position with a bad hairline, but not to the level of Brock Bowers. And Jason Witten sold out. Remember, he started painting on his hair when he went on Monday Night Football, turning his back hair. I like Brock Bowers. Gesundheit. I like Brock Bowers actually holding on to this. Like, make us rethink what that position is supposed to look like.
Tom, you're laughing right now because the way that sneeze went into his hand, I heard that his hands got wet, and I was just going to ask you, are you going to go need to get a tissue? Because the sneeze was muffled, but it was muffled in a way that allowed me to hear the dampness of your hands from what came out of your nose.
It was like a 3, though, on the scale of how wet it could have
caught
been.
it.
A 3? What's a 10?
A 10 is like mucus, like where I can like.
He has to change his
where
clothes.
Separate my hands. You could like see the.
He caught his sneeze, and here's the thing: because he was thinking, his mouth was open, and some of the wetness also came out of his mouth. So the fact that you have a tissue on the ready there for what sounded like a very wet sneeze that was only muffled by your hand.
You know you're gonna search a J drive for my sneeze.
It was damp. The sneeze sounded damp. Thank you. Get me the Reese Davis talks to Lou Holtz, one of the great moments of improv in the history of ESPN.
I'll get the longer version.
I heard you say the F word when Dane was setting that up.
Amir Abdullah. Now, Marshall, usually it's all Rakeem Cato who did throw a touchdown pass in his 40. Devin Johnson put up 272 yards. That's a Marshall record. Nothing to sneeze at.
So broadcast professional.
Good from
right
Rich.
there.
That's good stuff.
That's what you call a callback.
I love Rich's work, Rich Davis's work. Let's go ahead and just play that again so that people can be alarmed at what that sneeze sounds like. Because if I told you without context that sound was a sneeze, you would not believe it.
Also mentioned Amir Abdullah. Now, Marshall, usually it's all Rakeem Cato who did throw a touchdown pass in his 40. Devin Johnson put up 272 yards. That's a Marshall record. Nothing to sneeze at.
Do me the favor. I want to hear the whole thing again, just one more time, so that people can hear before the sneeze arrives the seizing in Lou Holtz's body right before the sneeze as he tries to keep it down, but he fails.
Also mentioned Amir Abdullah. Now, Marshall, usually it's all Rakeem Cato who did throw a touchdown pass in his 40. Devin Johnson put up 272 yards. That's a Marshall record. Nothing to sneeze at.
You know, they're saying you don't know they're the good old days while they're happening. Late nights with Reese, Mark May, and Lou Holtz.
Yeah. Oh,
those
Mark
ended up
May.
being the good old days. Did you see they announced the Hawaii Bowl? Do you know what the Hawaii Bowl matchup is? It's Cal versus Hawaii. Do you know the head coaches in that game?
Oh, yeah.
Timmy Chang versus Nick Rolovich.
Yes.
I chased so many late night bets with those two quarterbacks at Hawaii.
Where is Mark May these days?
Where's Trevor Alberts?
Questions I do not know the answer to.
Matthew Berry has reappeared. We accused him of being in hiding.
Matthew Berry. Matthew Berry. Matthew Berry.
We accused him of being in hiding after he suggested that Ashton Genty was someone that we should ride, but that's okay because he's had one hell of a season. And who could account for the idea that Dallas would all of a sudden start playing defense and Ashton Genty would have 6 carries for 7 yards in a game? Nobody could account for it. Matthew Berry has been exceptional this season with his football information. Where are you joining us from, Matthew?
I am in beautiful Orlando, Florida, Dan. My daughters, I have twin daughters that are 14 years old, and they do competitive cheer. And we won the state of Connecticut. We placed in the New England Regional, and we are now at Nationals. I'm wearing my proud Cheer Dad T-shirt today, so we compete for a national title later today. I'm very excited.
Do you guys, can you guys tell? I should have known that was Orlando. There's something about that hotel that makes it look like he's in Orlando. Can you answer one of the questions we were asking before the show? What is the appropriate amount of money to give your daughter for her first tooth if you're the tooth fairy?
Your maybe $10.
That's a good amount. Good answer.
Yeah, it's a good answer.
Right,
I like that answer.
Maybe for two.
That's a good
two.
answer.
Yeah, no, Mike Ryan went 20, and I thought that was a little rich for a child.
I feel if they get older, you can go to 20, but for their very first one, you want to. If you start at 20, you kind of build up, right?
Well,
so it feels like you got no room to grow.
This is what I was complaining about. He goes the other way.
Yeah.
He was saying he was going to go down, and all of a sudden the kid's going to think that the tooth fairy's unemployed or
Matthew,
hit hard times.
There's 6, Matthew. You control the narrative.
I know, but I don't know. I just, of all the things you want to save money on, your kids' teeth aren't really, the tooth fairy isn't where you want to cut corners, I feel like.
Go ahead and
your
play
kids' dreams.
Play the music again so we can get him fired up for his
Matthew
segment.
Berry. Matthew Berry. Matthew Berry. Matthew Berry.
Dan, over the last 4 games, no team in the NFL allows passing touchdowns at a higher rate than the Arizona Cardinals, the quarterback they face this week. No quarterback in the NFL has a higher touchdown rate than Matthew Stafford. Stafford's going to throw a few against Arizona. In Joe Burrow's first game back from injury last week, the Bengals were 5th in pass rate over expectation. And over the last 4 weeks, no team in the NFL has a lower pressure rate than the Buffalo Bills, I should say. So you're telling me Joe Burrow gets Jamar Chase back and he's going to have a clean pocket in a game where he's got to go back and forth against Josh Allen? I'm in on Joe Burrow this week. Since week 9, the New Orleans Saints allow the 3rd most rushing yards per game to opposing running backs. They've also given them a rushing touchdown to an opposing running back in 5 of their past 6 games. And in Bucky Irving's first game back last week, he had 81% of the Buccaneers running back rushing attempts and 100% of their goal-to-go rushing attempts. Bucky Irving, anytime touchdown coming this weekend. In the 2 full games that Chase Brown played with Joe Burrow this year, he has 45 touches, 45. And of the 7 running backs that have gotten at least 15 touches against Buffalo this year, most of them have scored at least 16 fantasy points. Kyle Monungai, the pride of Rutgers, has 4 straight games with a rushing touchdown. He's also gotten 71% of the Bears' goal-to-go rushing attempts over the last 4 games. He now has back-to-back games with over 50% of the team's running back rushing attempts. Over the last 3 weeks, the 13th best wide receiver in fantasy football is Jacoby Myers. He's averaging almost 16 points a game. He's got a 23% target share in that stage. And this week's opponent, the Indianapolis Colts, have allowed at least 90 receiving yards to an opposing wide receiver in 3 straight games. They won't have Sauce Gardner on Sunday. Speaking of the Colts, one of their former players, Adonai Mitchell, believe it or not, since Adonai Mitchell has joined the Jets, he has a 30% target share. And he's got an end zone target in all 3 weeks. He hasn't always caught them, but he's got an end zone target in all 3 weeks. And over the last 4 games, Miami allows the 7th most fantasy points per game to opposing wide receivers since week 7. Kyle Pitts has a 23% target share, and only 2 teams allow more receiving yards to opposing tight ends than the Seattle Seahawks.
You powered through illness there, did you not? Because you're playing hurt.
It's been a lot of travel, honestly. We had Thanksgiving, and then down here to Orlando, and I'm in Kansas City on Sunday night for Sunday Night Football. So just a lot of travel, I think, is where that's coming from, Dan.
Can you tell me? I think it must have been 2 weeks ago. Maybe it was last week. I'm not remembering. But 2 of the suggestions that you gave for touchdowns came in the first, I'm going to say, 5 minutes of football last week. It was Bucky Irving and or it was 2 weeks ago. Bucky Irving and someone else, where 2 of the suggestions you gave us on the show landed as soon as the football day started. Correct?
I think and I think it might have been Kyron Williams. I don't remember. It was a couple weeks ago, but I think it might have been Kyron Williams too. But maybe someone on the show remembers better. I give out the advice and then I move on, so to speak. But I feel like it was Bucky Irving and Kyron Williams were the calls.
Thank you, Matthew, for the information as always. Appreciate it. Appreciate you playing hurt as well.
Matthew Berry. Matthew Berry. Matthew Berry. Matthew Berry.
By the way, Dan, one last thing, if I can mention it. Dan, am I there?
Yeah.
You
Matthew Berry. Can you mention it?
Matthew Berry.
I'm at a loss. Can you mention it?
I didn't know if I'd been cut off. I didn't know if you guys had moved on. Oh, no. I would like to thank all of the members of your staff for playing in a guillotine league.
Oh no!
None of them were able to bring me down, but I do appreciate all of them playing.
This was cheating happening.
In my defense, I ignored every single one of those emails.
It was me and Matthew, the last two.
Wait a minute. That was what he did there. Was just such a shit sandwich for you guys. Thank you all for playing, but it was just to tell us that he beat you all. That's
right.
That was very
GuillotineLeague.com.
That was very well done.
Can't
Matthew.
sing if you don't know you're in it.
Thank you, Matthew. Appreciate all of the information this year. We will
Good luck to your daughter.
We will continue.
Daughters, kick it up to 20.
Daughters.
Did you guys see that Doug Gottlieb threw a chair yesterday?
I did.
Doug Gottlieb, who is hosting a radio show while also coaching a college basketball team, hosting a daily radio show while coaching a college basketball team, got very upset because let's see if we can find out how it is that his team lost this particular game, because I think they were up double digits with 3 or 4 minutes left. And unless Tracy McGrady was playing for the other guys, Tracy McGrady once scored 13 points in 35 seconds. I don't know how you lose the game that he lost, but he threw a chair against the wall. He coaches, is it Green Bay, Wisconsin is the name of the program?
Wisconsin, Green Bay.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Nicely
The dub
done.
goes first, but not for him.
He threw a chair after the game. Were you guys aware that Tracy McGrady scored 13 points in 35 seconds?
Oh, that was an amazing game, of course.
You're aware of it. I'm not sure everyone
One of the more
here.
famous, a lot of points in a short time things. I would
Okay,
say.
but Tony was looking up
That's what
Barry
they call it.
Sanders stats earlier after
Dan, I'm doing a thing.
It's also decades apart.
But I do think that we have the ability to make a pretty good segment here where we're introducing young people to things in sports that old people know happened, but they might not know happened. And if we showed some of them 13 points in 35 seconds and they weren't aware, like even if I don't tell you, if you don't know this and didn't see it, you would tell me it's mathematically not possible for a basketball player to score 13 points in 35 seconds. Never mind in today's NBA where they shoot threes like that. In that NBA, that's totally nuts. 13 points in 35 seconds doesn't even make any sense.
And they didn't exactly shoot a ton of three-pointers back then. And he hit probably 3 3-pointers during that stretch. Yeah, that was back when players tried in the regular season.
There was also a 7'6" guy on the floor.
He was the best. I loved that.
Yao?
I loved watching Yao. He was
Really?
Oh, what? He was amazing.
Look at me when I talk to you. Over here.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't know who was talking to me.
You thought it was Tom?
We know it's not Tom.
Well, first I looked at Tony, and then I looked at Chris.
Whoa.
I wasn't sure.
You mentioned loving watching Yao Ming. I mentioned that Zach Edey was a plague at Purdue, and I didn't want to see him in the NBA, and that he would have nothing but foul trouble in the NBA. But he's been pretty good. Memphis is terrible, and he does have foul trouble. But what are you shaking your shoulders
Was a
about?
looter in a riot. Yeah, he's there. Okay. He's a terrible, terrible team, and he's all right. He's halfway
I think I'm with you.
It's like, okay.
No, but wait a minute. I thought he wasn't going to be able to get on the floor in the NBA because he's cement-footed and he would just get 6 fouls in 3 minutes every time. And that's not what's happening to Zach Edey.
He had 32 points and 17 rebounds on 16 of 20 from the field.
Somebody's got to score on a terrible team.
16 of 20 from the field is pretty good.
Yeah.
What is he
17
shooting?
rebounds.
At the rim. Dunks and layups and little hook shots.
He's on the floor. He's not being run off the floor.
Because they're terrible. They have nobody to play.
Yeah. Somebody's got to score.
But he could be so terrible that they would be replacing him with a differently terrible guy. He could score 32 points even against G League guys.
Did they win
That's
that
impressive.
game?
They did win that game by 8 points against the Sacramento Kings.
Tony, did you want to argue with Zaz about the loving of
No,
watching
it's just a weird
Yao
thing,
Ming
like
play?
Yao Ming, like Tracy McGrady on that team. Like there was a bunch of fun guys in that league, and it's like Yao Ming. Really?
Oh, I'm not propping up Yao Ming
Sounds like
at the
you were.
expense of Tracy McGrady. I just loved watching Yao. He was incredible. And by the way, that Rockets team, one of those years, they won like 25 games in a row. They won shit in the playoffs. But like
Good team.
Those Rockets teams
What was that, 07?
That was
somewhere around there.
That was the record that the Heat were chasing.
Yeah, somewhere. No, the record the Heat were chasing was the Lakers. They won like 33 in a row. But obviously the Heat did pass. It's like 69 Lakers. You weren't around yet, Mike.
I wasn't.
But Yao Ming, you better put some respect on his name.
Want to thank Tom Bogert for being with us here from The Athletic. Any final thoughts here, Tom? I've got to catch a flight to New York here. I'm going to try and do the show from New York next week. I'm not very happy about going to the freezing temperatures of New York. Any final thoughts here? And thank you again for the expertise and for spending this time with us today about the World Cup draw today and Inter Miami playing in the final this weekend.
Thanks for having me. But in this game this weekend, while I sit in Miami, I think the Vancouver Whitecaps are going to win.
Whoa! Send them out, Dan.
You get out of here! Wow. I never want to see you again in my city. I'm not joking. Get out of here. I'm going to carry you out over my shoulders, Nacho.
I was going to let him promote stuff, but not anymore.
If you think we're going to promote that you're from The Athletic, you got another thing coming, you asshole.
Dan's going to New York.
Well, who's got to do the show over here?
Yeah. Jawan Howard was on that team.
Dikembe Mutombo.
Mutombo, too.
Pointy elbows.
Skip to my Lou. Skip to my Lou on that team. Bonzi Wells.
So many